Amigos, regresamos aquí. Tenemos como invitado con nosotros al señor Dan Pavón, que es legislador de la Cámara de Representantes del Estado de Colorado y fue la persona responsable por escribir la legislación que permitió el que en el Estado de Colorado se pueda utilizar la marihuana medicinal. Before going to the post, I was saying that there's no circumstances that I'm going to buy that if you tell me that we should have a law that allows that marijuana to be sold in Puerto Rico, if that is going to go against the health on a long term or short term of our people, especially the young people, and that is going to be benefiting only the people who have money to establish the business. Okay? If that's going to be that way, it's bad news for me. I'm speaking on my behalf.
Sure.
It's bad news for me because if we're going to put something statewide, and I'll grant you that it gives a lot of money, which should not be the reason for doing it. I think if we're going to act responsible, like I would like my government to work, is that we're going to allow the medical marijuana in Puerto Rico only, and I repeat, only because of health reasons, to benefit the people who are sick, who can benefit from that marijuana. If they tell me, Jorge, remember, we're going to be receiving $900 million, $1 billion a year on taxes, and we need the money, and you don't mention first the health factor, and I say, I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to be there. You know, I think the health of the individual and of our country is more important than $900 million or $500 million. I just want to make that. That's what I said in Spanish before I went to the break, and that's my position.
I mean, I think that's a great position. I would take it one step further and say that science should lead the way on whether or not this should be used or not. In other words, if the science says that medical marijuana can treat PTSD or nausea or cancer treatments or all those things, then we should absolutely embrace it. But something we need now more than ever is the research in order to demonstrate that efficacy. And I think Puerto Rico is in a prime spot to demonstrate that research. If that research demonstrates that there's a good outcome for the people, for the patients, for the families who are treating the patients, then you should absolutely do that. And if you have a problem with the profit model or the who's making the money, that's already the case in our medical system. Pharmaceutical companies do this every day, all day long, and make billions and billions of dollars off a very small amount of people. At least what this does is shift that to allow those who may not be able to afford those large prescription drugs, those opioids, those thousands and tens of thousands of dollars, that they can get some relief through a plant that could be grown at home. I think it's something worth looking at.
I agree with you 100% on that. I agree with you, and I'm glad that you just mentioned the pharmaceuticals. We know the harm that they're doing to our people with all those medicines. Mm-hmm. I don't want to allow another thing like that to happen to our society. Okay? So that's one of my concerns, and you just mentioned the right example, the pharmaceuticals. Well, you take a pill for your headache, and it blows your liver. 3 years from now, and you say, well, what's happening with my liver? I did nothing to harm my liver. Well, you took a pill for your head, for a headache that you had, and the doctor told you have to take that for the rest of your life. But the first question I made in Spanish, and I'm sorry I didn't say it in English, was precisely what you just said. Is there a list right now, I know that they're going to be doing research for many, many years, but a list of things that can be, that you can handle with this medical marijuana, that we can identify headaches or whatever condition.
Sure. I mean, I think, I was at lunch today with two medical doctors who've been practicing their entire lives. What they told me is when they were oncologists, so they were treating those who suffer from cancer. And they said marijuana use to prevent nausea associated with chemotherapy has been in place since the 80s.
Okay.
At Mount Sinai, a very reputable cancer treatment center, patients were using it in the bathroom while they were getting their chemotherapy following. It's a known outcome, and it's benefiting cancer patients for 30 plus years. So So I think there are some basic things like that. And again, if cancer treatment is who we're focused on, and those cancer patients who are suffering, we should give them every opportunity to have a quality of life as long as they can, recover from their treatment. And if marijuana is the way to do that.
I've gone to church, and I've heard a pastor say, don't allow these people to bring that medical marijuana to Puerto Rico, because that's the beginning. That's the way
It's a
to
stepping
opening
stone.
the door
The first step.
for the other drugs to come in. And they're using that one as a medical marijuana as an excuse. So don't let anybody do that. I've heard that. Did they say that in Colorado?
You know what they said in Colorado is, you'll have a heroin situation next. You'll have more drugs on the street than you've ever seen. This is a really bad idea. Don't do it. And what we've seen is a decrease not only in black market activity in marijuana, but we've seen a decrease in the overall drug trade. And frankly, we've seen a decrease in alcohol use because folks are shifting from alcohol to marijuana. And what we've seen as a result to our public health system, if you just put it in dollars and cents, right? Let's just, 10% of Coloradans are the ones who use this and tourists who come to Colorado. 90% of us, myself included, we don't use this product. But the public health benefits and the benefits we get from the savings in our criminal justice system have been enormous.
But in
And so-
regards to the huge profits that you made, of course, it has been beyond expectations. I've read a lot about it. What percentage have you used to, like in Las Vegas, where they do the gambling and they have these programs? And I've heard and I've read that you've had to invest in these programs. What percentages of the
the
profits have
revenue.
you managed for those programs for addictions and alcohol and all that?
Well, I think the good news is we have not had to create a single new program to address substance abuse or
Even in the recreational aspect?
even in the recreational aspect. What we've done is we've augmented current programs, but we haven't had any kind of surge in services where we say, oh, well, we've got to really invest.
Is there
a lot
established
more.
percentage of the profits that go towards those?
We don't do it by percentages, because if you get into percentages, then it's as arbitrary as
Right.
looking at the need and assessing what we need. So every year we take a look at it, and that's why I know the statistics so quickly off the top of my head, because every year we've seen a decrease in use and overall substance abuse treatment in Colorado. And I think, again, part of it is folks who are substance abuse users, sometimes it's opioid use. I use that term broadly.
Yeah.
It's opioid use, alcohol abuse. If they're shifting to this different product, marijuana, they're not having the same side effects and suffering from the same issues as they did before.
When
But-
you started low,
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
Okay, like 4 years ago.
Yeah, so we have some data, and we want more data, and we want to share that data with everyone, and we want folks to share their data with us. The more information we have about
Yeah.
the social outcomes and the scientific outcomes, the better off we're all going to be.
How about
Especially the scientific one. Yeah, it's very important.
It's all got to be
Yeah.
scientific data. It's all got to be peer-reviewed data. There's a lot of anecdotes that are being trotted out. If you allow this product, it'll be the gateway drug. That hasn't played out in our system, and so we want to be cognizant of that because we're as concerned about that as everyone else is.
How about traffic violations, moving violations, DUIs, and all that? Have you had any increase in those?
flat
No statistics that reflect
flat
that.
rate?
Y
Yeah.
para,
I
para
wanna-
los que
I
nos
wanna
están
say that-
escuchando, para los que nos están escuchando, perdona,
Tradúcelo.
que estamos más o menos, lo que estamos hablando es cuál ha sido la experiencia de Colorado con el asunto de las iglesias, las comunidades de fe, cómo ha trabajado el asunto con la ciudadanía, en el estado de
jóvenes.
Colorado, los jóvenes. Eddie acaba de hacer algo bien importante, que nosotros hemos trivializado aquí desde hace unos años, cuando el representante Navarro decía que para pedirle a los que estaban borrachos había un aparato que tú ponías en el carro, soplaba y si no daba lo que no podías prender. Nosotros en aquel momento muchos se rieron. La verdad es que ese aparato existe.
Sí.
Existe. Y como para nosotros
Que ha
es
bajado de
nuevo,
precio, de hecho.
sí,
Antes era carísimo.
Era carísimo, pero existe. Y en el caso de Colorado es bien raro de que algo que plantea el representante Pavón. La gente se ha mudado del alcohol, es un 10%. Ellos tienen data de todos los años. un 10% de la población, 90% no la usa. En Puerto Rico yo creo que vamos a estar por ahí, porque aunque no lo queramos creer, hay una gran parte de esta población que han usado o usarán, y esta nueva generación, aunque traten unas drogas de estas que vienen por ahí psicodélicas, que no son ácidos, son otras cosas ya, estoy un poquito outdated.
Pastilleo, sí.
El pastilleo
Sí, pero perdona que te interrumpa. No me digas que los que usan el pastilleo, los que usan la marihuana ahora mismo, se van a unir a ese 10%. Si yo entiendo a Dan correcto,
Sí, ¿no?
ese 10% responde en el estado de Colorado a personas con necesidades médicas que se ha comprobado que esa marihuana medicinal los ayuda.
No, pero lo del
Esa no va-
pastilleo es lo del éxtasis.
lo
y
del
otro
pastilleo
tipo
de
de-
Eso,
éxtasis,
pero
lo
que
de
eso
acá.
no va a
Eso no tiene nada que
sustituir
ver
una
con-
cosa
Claro,
con la
no,
otra,
pero lo que digo-
absolutamente.
lo que quiero decirles es que hay otras cosas de esta generación que no necesariamente, y yo viendo Puerto Rico,
Y son peores.
que son peores,
Ujú.
ellos se han quedado en una línea flat, contrario a lo que la gente pensaba, que es que de la marihuana iban a brincar la heroína, que iban a brincar a otro sitio. A mí me impresionó, yo he
Los
estado
problemas de tránsito, que fue otra
los
de las
problemas de
cosas que
tránsito, cómo un policía sabe si una persona está drogada o no, si hace el famoso 4, camina una línea, de estas cosas que se plantean. Eso es algo que los legisladores tenemos que entonces pensar para poder establecer una política pública clara. Lo que yo estoy claro es que en el Partido No Progresista, y está en su plataforma, establece claramente que nosotros vamos a trabajar con la medicinal, y siendo nuestro candidato un científico, pues obviamente el research va a ser uno de sus fuertes. Esto no es como que le vamos a vender gato por liebre, porque después de todo, esa es su formación, y eso él lo va a ver como algo que le interesa,
Claro.
y debe de interesarle.
No, y un tema que domina totalmente.
Dominado totalmente. Entonces, nosotros tenemos que aprender de gente como Colorado, de gente como Arizona, porque en Colorado hay una población latina grande, que después de todo se comportan parecido a como nos comportamos los latinos. Nosotros no nos comportamos como se comportaron en el Sajón del Sur, de raza blanca, que le dicen redneck. Ellos tienen su área de cómo ser diferente. Nosotros los latinos salimos.
Hasta en la paricial.
Sí, nosotros fiestamos, tenemos costumbres diferentes y hacemos cosas diferentes. Eso nos hace una cultura diferente. Así que...
Hay un aspecto importante antes de irnos, sé que tenemos la pausa encima, pero el aspecto del crimen también, que habla él del procesamiento criminal, ha bajado la tendencia en términos de, en algunas se ha mantenido flat, como dice Carmelo, pero en otras ha bajado el trasiego de drogas y los crímenes violentos también.
Y que gente se ha movido del alcohol al uso de esto.
I have to pause here, but I'm going to leave a question on the air for you to answer after we come back. I know that we have a Disney in Orlando, a Disney in California, a Disney in Paris, and the other one is in...
LA.
No,
LA is
we
California.
got one in
Texas.
por Japón, por allá.
Oh,
por,
sí, sí.
there's another one there. And those places are perfect. They've been created like that. I want you to tell me when we come back, if by approving that law and the way it's working right now, if you can say it has been a Disney. And by that, I ask the following. Which have been the good points and which are the bad points?
Okay.
Because I will not buy that 100% is perfect. I want to listen, because we have to learn from that.
Sure.
I want to listen by the bad things that have happened, that you didn't expect them, because if you did, you wouldn't.
Lo
have
bueno
allowed
o lo
them.
malo de lo que ha
Okay.
pasado en Colorado.
Le estoy preguntando a él que ahora cuando regresemos de la pausa, que no puedo aceptar de que eso sea un Disney. Los Disney están identificados en todas las partes de Estados Unidos y del mundo. Que quiero que él me diga cuáles son las cosas positivas que han surgido, que lo ha tomado por sorpresa al estado de Colorado, y las negativas que han surgido, que obviamente de haber surgido, no porque ellos no lo sabían y lo ignoraron, es que lo desconocían. Eso lo vamos a discutir tan pronto regresemos a la pausa.